So, good evening, sir. I have a very important question today, sir. Wherein a lot of aspirants, when they go to SSB, they make very ordinary mistakes, which are very common. I request my mentor in chief to just quickly discuss 10 top mistakes what aspirants make and how they can overcome them, sir.
Okay, good afternoon. How are you?
Great, sir.
Chalo, thank you. Uh, you see, it is not the SSB. Even before the student starts for the SSB, there are some mistakes that he has already made at home. For example, he has not made a proper travel plan. He doesn't have a booking. He arrives late. Then the list of documents that he's supposed to carry, he is not carrying those passport photos, certificates, originals. Then the change of clothes, the set of clothes that he requires for 10 odd days, a formal dress for the interview, whites for the GTOs, informals, those kinds of things. So these convey a very poor impression and give the necessary inputs to the SSB even before the SSB started.
Sir.
The second issue is that when he arrives at the SSB, he may be running late, he may be poorly dressed, he is not shaved properly. Then, in case he's traveling right into the SSB, then he's not had a bath at the railway station or in a hotel room and comes straight running from the train or the bus and joins the SSB. So that is an issue. And then when he joins the other people for the very first time, or for that matter, his interaction with the gatekeeper staff and others uh, could be poor behavior. Someone is unnecessarily argumentative, quarrelsome, is not following directions. So all these things are a net minus even before your SSB started. Third issue is, before we come on to the points concerning SSB, that this SSB is, I think, the first chance for someone at a professional career. And if someone is not aware of what is going to happen in the next days, the series of tests he is going to be subjected to, and has not bothered to find out something about it, that shows a very casual approach. These days, students, children, when they apply for various colleges, universities to go out to USA, etc., they take 3 months, 4 months, 5 months to find out what the interviewer wants, what does he seek, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses.
Sure.
So, an NDA cadet also cannot land up there not knowing what is going to happen in the next 5 days. That is the third issue. And OIR weakness is that most of the students, I think 70-80%, though they are generally aware what is going to happen, but their speed of work at OIR is inadequate. And that can only happen because you may have the general intelligence factor may be high, but the logical intelligence factor may be slow, and that will only increase with practice. So a lot of practice has to be put into the OIR, unless someone is naturally gifted. Now, the fourth mistake that the students make is about the first part of the screening, that is the PPDT. Now, their perception of the picture which is given to them is wonky. It is unrelated to what is actually being shown to them. And they take off on a tangent and make a story which, in their domain, they think is correct. But maybe what the SSB would call it, maybe childish, maybe illogical, maybe that Batman kind of story. So, this is later going to affect your TAT also. So if the student's life experience is not good enough where he can relate to normal stimulus and give normal responses, then there is a problem. In PPTT, you will find the aspirants, I think 8 to 9 out of 15 will be quarreling over no. There were 3 characters, there were 4 characters. Lack of
Sure.
attention.
Yes, sir.
Then they don't listen to anyone, they don't listen to each other. That
Sure.
is another major problem. The fifth issue one could say is that in this aspect, what we spoke of PBT in PPDT, in case there are a little bit of aberrations in the psych, then they require normalization before you proceed further. Then another issue is misrepresenting, concealing information, or lying, or maybe not lying. The child wants to project himself as much more than what he is. He may have played basketball in his school, but he says, I have played in the district level. So then I ask him, how many schools in a district? He doesn't know. How many tehsils in a district? He doesn't know. How many teams were there? Sir, 6 teams. When every village has got a school, you cannot be having 6 schools in a district level competition. So that factor of trying to show yourself more than what you are is again something that is not going to carry you very far. It should not be done. And the student must be very honest with himself and in what he fills in his PIQ form. And he must also remember it, because that is what is going to be asked in the interview. A related mistake is that the information that you have written in your PIQ form, you have not bothered to go over it, and inadvertently you give an incorrect answer in the interview. So unless you yourself say, sir, I think this could be correct or maybe, but if you present it as a fact, then that is taken as a case of deliberate lying. So these are the issues about misrepresentation, etc. A related aspect is, you could say, the sixth point is the trying to present a fake persona of yourself. And now you see, the whole interview is to see what you are, what is your personality, what is your natural way of tackling things, what is your natural behavior, how will you behave under stress. And if you are presenting a fake kind of persona, that is going to come off very, very quickly. So it is best not to be done. The student must always endeavor to be honest and present his authentic self, so that the assessor's job is easy. And the child gives off his best. He is not wasting his mental energy on trying to remember that I must be lying about these things. And the baseline is that we are all human beings. None of us are perfect. We have certain good, certain not so good qualities, which is natural. None of us is perfect. The only thing that is being seen here is whether the child is aware of his limitations and is upfront and accepts them. That is the first and only step required for him to be on the autocorrect mode, and he will naturally, when he is being trained in NDA, correct these anomalies and he'll make a good officer. So there
Sir,
is no need to put on a fake persona. And the next issue I can say is that uh, many children, more than 70-80%, they do not remember their biographical details, their own autobiography. Which school I studied in, where did I go, the town, how was it, what I liked about the town, who were my friends. And if you recollect your own interview, these are the exact things that your interviewing officer wants to know. Because through the people you have interacted with and their coffee, that is in a way mirroring your personality, he wants to know. And these aspects are lacking where the students have not bothered to prepare themselves for the interview. Therefore, they are a bit on the lower side in this aspect. The eighth and the biggest problem is a lack of attention. Now, why it has happened, either due to the effect of social media or the way the students are being taught in school, there are hundreds of reasons. But inattentiveness is a big issue. In your interview, it shows as the interviewing officer asking you a long series of questions. And after two or three, the student says, sorry, sir, I've forgotten. Can you tell me? So you do this once or twice. That is the end of your interview. Then in the GTO briefings, again, if the student is not paying attention, then naturally he's going to break some rule or the other. Let's say one of those five rules in the GTO structures. In the psychology also, once you have been told that this battery of tests which is on, don't turn your page, don't start writing before the image has gone. If you do these things, these are also under scrutiny and are not taken to very kindly. So in inattentiveness also is very clearly evident in your group discussions. The student is not listening to others at all, and he is going on about his own thing.
Yes,
He
sir.
is not he is not attentive to the topic which has been given by the GTO.
Sure.
I tell all my students that the groups that I have seen in discussions and how generally the students are functioning, if you can just understand the topic that the GTO has given and bring your group, if it is gone or back to the topic, half your job is done because the other three leads have already been given by the GTO.
Sure.
So this lack of attention is a major problem throughout. Then when you come to the eighth or ninth point, whatever the personal conduct part or your sense of, you can say either being selfish and complaining about others in a group, deliberately highlighting someone other's errors to, in a very sly manner, try to bring it to the assessor's notice. Not helping others, not cooperating with others, picking up someone ideas and trying to show it as your own idea, then not able to control your own emotions, anger. Some students are naturally, uncontrollably aggressive. They don't listen to anyone. The moment someone gives a counterpoint, they'll go ballistic.
Sure.
So all these issues about your personal behavior uh, are again another thing that affect the functioning of the group. And ultimately, the SSB, especially the GTO part, is how well you are contributing to the group aim, how others take to you, how you influence the group, and how you collectively achieve your mission. So these aspects, these angularities where you cannot get along with people, aggression, selfishness, not helping others, lack of cooperation, these are uh, in 10-20% the students, they are quite patently visible. And then if I were to complete your list of 10, the last would be the, I would say, physical fitness part. Now, this again is something that has started about at least a year, 2 years back, or you could say throughout your life. If you're going to be joining the army, you cannot be like a sack of potatoes. It cannot happen that you cannot walk or run.
Yes, sir.
So, if that is how the child is because of his way of life, at least 6 months, at least when he gave that written exam and he knew I was going for SSB, he should start walking, running, doing some exercise so that he is able to tackle those obstacles which are there and he is able to show himself as a physically fit fellow who is ready to be trained in NDA. A basic yardstick would be if the child can do, let us say, 30 bench stretches, 50 sit ups, and 80 to 90 of your what we say, utak betak. What is the English term for that?
Sit-ups, sir.
No, sit ups are on the ground and you with your arms behind and you come up. Bench
Sure.
stretches are, but utak बैठक जो पहलवान लगाता है,
Sir.
that one. हाँ तो edit करके वो कर. Or if you have been playing, so I'll just repeat so that it cuts out. That is called burpee,
Squats.
squats, burpee. So
Burpee is you're jumping and doing this.
okay, fine. So I'll just
Squats.
so the basic yardstick is for physical fitness. If any student can do 30 odd bench stretches, 50 odd sit-ups, and maybe 50 odd burpees or 70 to 80 squats. Or if you have been playing badminton, I'm sorry, basketball or football in your school team, that is good enough for you.
Sure.
The only thing that is required is wherever you find a place, go and do some rope because that is something new that you will find. So now, what can a child do to avoid these 10 mistakes? Is to straight away, the day he's decided, the day he's appeared for return, if not so far, he should start becoming responsible. He should look at himself, and if he cannot assess himself, he should ask his parents and teachers or the counselor in his school, the psychologist, about any deficiencies in character or traits or qualities that he may have so that he can work on them. He should work his own attitudes. He can ask his parents or himself sit down and make a list of what is my attitude to work, what
Yeah,
is my attitude to honesty, what is my attitude to cooperation, what is my attitude to women, what is my attitude to minorities, what is my attitude to girls. On a piece of paper, write down the answers, and he himself will know where he stands and
sure,
what needs to be corrected.
absolutely,
The bottom line is that he has to be honest with himself.
sure,
And of course, start becoming fit, start going for a walk, run, and start doing some exercise, and train himself to become more respectful of others, of his peers, of his family, of adults, of everyone. And that is a great beginning point for developing empathy, which later on is seen as an OLQ. This should largely take care of his deficiencies in case any of these are there. Thank
sure.
you.
So broadly, what we have discussed, if I could summarize those is, once SSB is scheduled for individual, he should have a good travel plan. He should have its documentation in place. All those closed lists and everything, they should be well meticulously collected and kept. They should arrive in time so that there is no last minute rush to anything.
Correct.
OIR should be well prepared.
Practice.
PPDD, yes, well practiced. PPDD should be well practiced. Do not conceal any information or don't try to give misinformation to the board and to the PIQ thing what they fill up in that form. And no fake persona should be shown in SSB. Authentic self is one what is recommended. Autobiographical details what are there that should be memorized and they should be remembered. Lack of attention is one what is highlighted by mentor in chief. One has to work on that. Personal conduct has to be of the best, highest order. And last but not the least is the physical fitness, what is required to be of the best standard, sir. This is what
Yeah, that is
is the summary, sir. Thank you so much
that
for guiding the students, sir.